Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to a new video of The World According to Patrick, where I rank my favorite albums, where I go from my least favorite to my favorite. I'm going to start doing some other things on here too, other than just ranking albums. I want to start doing like my favorite drummers, probably maybe my favorite bands or whatever, just listing. And, if you like what you see, please hit like and subscribe. Going to do a band that I'm really, really excited about doing. The band is Rainbow, Ritchie Blackmore and Rainbow. I don't know, about 10 years ago, maybe I would have said even less than that. I would have said I like Deep Purple more than this band. But man, this band has really grown on me the older I get. I've always liked them, but I love them. I don't think they have one bad album in their catalog, including their last one they did, which was supposed to be a solo album. I'm going to talk about here in a minute. But only 8 total studio albums. 8 albums, 4 different singers, if that says anything. I know Ritchie Blackmore's another Dave Mustaine, or very hard to deal with. Very strange guy, eccentric a little bit, but I mean, the older I get, he's turned out to be one of my very favorite guitarists. Love this guy, and again, I don't think there's a bad song in the whole catalog. I mean, obviously, they were very, very heavy hard rock, almost even heavy metal, and their sound changed drastically in the early 80s when they got Joe Lynn Turner and Graham Bonnet. But I like everything they did. I mean, I remember MTV used to play the hell out of the Joe Lynn Turner videos, and I like those as well too. So I don't dislike any of these albums, even the ones at the very bottom. And I didn't think this would be hard to rank, but actually they are, even though it's only 8 albums, because I really like all of them, except for the bottom one. I pretty much knew what it was going to be. But again, I'm going to go from my least favorite to my favorite. And if you like what you see, please hit like and subscribe. But I'm going to start with number 8 here, and that is Stranger in Us All. The last thing he's done, pretty much the last thing he's done that's anything remotely, involved with rock or metal at all. And only album to feature Doogie White on vocals. Basically just got a whole new band together. He was going on in his defense, just like Tony Iommi did when to do with Sabbath. This was going to be a solo album. He just called it Ritchie Blackmore. And because of pressures from the record label, he was forced to say Ritchie Blackmore's Rainbow. But by no means a bad album, but compared to these other albums, I mean, it just happens to be at the bottom. But I mean, I listened to this the other day, and it's not a bad album. I mean, there's a couple songs on here a little weak, but all in all, pretty good album. Definitely better than the Celtic stuff he's doing now, but whatever, rocks his boat, right? But decent, solid album. Number 8 is Ritchie Blackmore's Rainbow, Stranger in Us All. But okay, again. Number 7, the last album to feature Joe Lynn Turner. Pretty commercial, but I remember when it came out, I liked it. I still love this album. Been Out of Shape. Of course, it's got the song Street of Dreams, which they played the hell out of on the radio and had a video for. There's some good songs on here. Desperate Heart, Fire Dance, Fool for the Night. I mean, a good album, good solid album. Again, this is the last album with Rainbow for quite a while, because right after this album came out, he got back with Deep Purple with Ian Gill and Roger Glover, and the original, the Mach 2 lineup of Deep Purple got together. And but good solid album. Number 7 is Been Out of Shape. Number 6, the rest of these I absolutely love, and I went back and forth with a few of these, but today I'm going to do it anyway. But actually, the first album to feature Joe Lynn Turner, and that's Difficult to Cure. Love this album. I remember when it came out. I mean, there was another, some songs on here they played the hell out of on MTV. I mean, Can't Happen Here, No Release, I Surrender is a good song, Spotlight Kid. Again, definitely changing the sound. Ritchie Blackmore was trying to change the sound of the band, which generally when an artist does that, I'm done. They're sellouts, but for whatever reason, for me, it still works. I love these albums. But number 6 is Difficult to Cure. Okay, and I almost said this is my number 4. I went back and forth, but today I'm gonna have it anyway because I love this singer. I think this is one of the most underrated singers on the planet. And actually, the only album he ever appeared on with Rainbow, and it's called Down to Earth. Love this album. All Night Long might be my very favorite Rainbow song, one of them anyway. I love Lost in Hollywood. I mean, the one that doesn't do it for me is Since You've Been Gone. That's probably one of the biggest hits on here that Russ Ballard wrote. I am not a fan of that song, but everything else on this album is solid. Really good album, though, and I wish Graham Bonham would have done more, actually, with Rainbow, because I love this album. God, he's got a hell of a voice. Definitely check out the album he did with the Michael Schenker group, too. Assault Attack, that's my favorite Michael Schenker album, too, with him singing on it. I mean, one hell of a singer, underrated as hell. But Down to Earth is number 5. Coming in at number 4 is the first album with, the first Rainbow album, Ritchie Blackmore's Rainbow. Got basically the guys in Elf, Ronnie James Dio and Elf. Ritchie Blackmore brought them in and formed his own band, Left Purple. And this is a good album. Some of the songs on here are just really great, and the others, some are not as good as the others, but I mean, the ones on here that are great are just killer. I mean, Man on the Silver Mountain, Catch the Rainbow, The Temple of the King, just a great album. I mean, but the first album, again, to feature Ronnie James Dio, and I mean, great album, and that is number 4. This might surprise some people, but I love this album. Definitely my favorite with Joe Lynn Turner, and that is Straight Between the Eyes. Great album. Got Death Alley Driver, Stone Cold, of course, Mistreated, Eyes of Fire. I mean, this is just a great album. I remember when this album came out, I played the hell out of it, and I still love it. Great album. And by the way, Roger Glover produced a lot of these, and he came from Purple, and he plays on several of these albums as well. But he actually appeared on the album before Down to Earth. It's the first album he appeared on. But great album, Straight Between the Eyes. But my top 2 have always been my top 2, and I went back and forth. But there's a reason why I have my number 1 at my number 1, and most people would have this as their number 1, but this is my number 2. Probably my favorite Rainbow song of all time on here. One of my all-time favorite songs on here is, and this is Rainbow Rising. I mean, there's not a bad track on here. I mean, it's one of the greatest albums ever made. I mean, just a killer album. Of course, I'm talking about Stargazer, but I mean, A Light in the Black, Run with the Wolf, Terror Woman, Starstruck. I mean, just a great album. Played it the other day. I mean, Stargazer is one of the greatest songs ever made, but I mean, great solid album. Number 2 is Rainbow Rising. Coming in number 1, and then my buddy Chuck turned me onto this band with this album. It's probably my number 1, but a lot of people like Rising better. I like this album a little bit better, probably because it's the first Rainbow album I ever heard. I was very young, a teenager, but Long Live Rock and Roll. Last album to feature Ronnie James Dio, unfortunately, which I hate that. I wish he would have done a couple more things, because I loved that version of Rainbow. Obviously, I like every version of Rainbow, but this is just killer. Long Live Rock and Roll. Lady of the Lake, LA Connection, Gates of Babylon, Kill the King, The Shed, Sensitive Delight, Rainbow Eyes. I don't think there's a bad track on here. Produced by Martin Birch, number 1. I mean, come on. Just killer, man. So I'm going to go back. Number 1, Long Live Rock and Roll. Number 2, Rising. Number 3, Straight Between the Eyes. Number 4 is Ritchie Blackmore's Rainbow. Number 5 is Down to Earth. Number 6, Difficult to Cure. Number 7 is Been Out of Shape. And number 8 is Stranger in Us All, the only album to feature Davey White, which, by the way, he's a good singer too. But, Ritchie Blackmore, to me, I mean, heck, he's had sang with so many great singers. I mean, of course, Ian Gillan, David Coverdale, Rod Evans, not so much in Purple, but then he went from that to Ronnie James Dio, to Graham Bonham. Again, I think he's one of the most underrated singers on the planet. Joe Lynn Turner, I mean, wow. And just love these albums. I actually probably listen to Rainbow just about as much as I do anybody. I still listen to Rainbow all the time. I mean, another cool album too is the just the greatest hits, classic Rainbow, and of course, Live in Munich, which features Ronnie James Dio. This is a great DVD. I've watched this multiple times. I mean, great lineup of the band, of course. Cozy Powell is another guy I didn't even bring up. Wow, one of the greatest drummers of all time. And the Ritchie Blackmore Story, definitely something worth checking out. I think you can watch this on YouTube as well too, but I like to have the physical copy of everything. But just one of the greatest bands of all time. Really good, solid stuff. Like, I'm not crazy about what he's doing now. I know he's resurrected Rainbow a little bit, of course, with the new lineup, and it's just, I just don't feel like his heart's in it. But whatever, man. I like it better than his Celtic music, but that's what he wants to do now with his wife, and that's, you know, whatever, but it's just not my truck. But great discography. Again, I'm going to probably start doing some stuff like my favorite drummers, favorite guitarists and singers and all that on here. Just add some stuff and have some more buddies come in here and do some stuff with me on my channel. But if you like what you see, please hit like and subscribe, and I'll be doing another one soon. Just come up with some more ideas, and I'll tell you guys soon. Later.